Hey yo, Twinkie, special delivery on table 2.
My, what a delightful dessert, and served up compliments of the deep-fried Freethinkers.
Ooh, it's Citizen Skeptic Award.
Yes,
Wow,
a
that looks
new
really good.
treat.
A new treat indeed. Something new on the menu, I see.
Yes.
Well, it looks like Miss Polly Duncan of Ripley, Mississippi is going to win this.
The first one ever given out.
First one.
Congratulations, Miss
Congratulations.
Polly. Well done, ma'am.
Yes.
Well done.
Well, what exactly has she done to get such an award?
Well, if you'll remember a week or two ago, we warned our listening audience about the rise of scams in this area. And apparently, Miss Polly Duncan was chosen to be the victim of one of these scams.
Oh,
But she elected not to be a victim and instead has somewhat turned the tables. So I thought it would be really interesting to give her this award, let her know how grateful we are for her skepticism,
Yes.
and let other people know what she did and how she did it.
I'm just going to read part of this article to you and give you an idea. It's So many things were wrong that alarm bells started going off right immediately, she recalled. I had to sign for an express mail envelope with a priority mail sticker on it. And that wasn't right. Inside the envelope was what looked like to be a genuine postal money order for $975. Then she noticed the name on the envelope was a guy in Arizona. The name on the money order was a guy in Michigan who had sent the money order. Then, according to the letter that came with the check, she was supposed to send the money to a guy in the Philippines.
Okay, so let's look at that for just a second.
Okay.
She's gotten this strange letter in the mail. It's unsolicited. And it's one of these, you've been chosen to be a secret shopper, or you've been chosen for this award or this money or whatever. And the first thing she does, rather than, throwing her up and going, oh, yes, I won, for her 15 minutes of fame, she thinks about it. She steps back and says, wait a minute. And she starts looking for clues. This is skepticism at its finest.
Exactly.
And like you said, she started noticing that things didn't add up, little things.
Kind of interesting. Most people wouldn't notice. If you sign for envelope, most people don't notice what the postage is on that envelope.
Yeah. But she was skeptical.
Yes.
And so she started noticing that the envelope was wrong, had the wrong sticker on it, that the names and the places were not consistent.
Yep.
And that it was actually an overseas, or appeared to be an overseas transaction, which is highly suspicious.
I think I would have caught it right there at the overseas thing, like, whoa, wait a minute, and then I would have stepped back and I would have rechecked everything.
Yeah.
And then done some research.
And if you've spent any time on the internet getting unsolicited junk emails, you'll know what Miss Polly saw for herself. It contained numerous spelling, grammar, and punctuation errors. And haven't you seen this time and time again with these Nigerian scams?
Yes. those were those were entertaining.
Yes. So she noticed that, and basically it said, "Hey, go cash the money order. Take out your $200. Take out, an extra 20. Go buy something at Walmart. Check them out. Evaluate it. And send the rest of the money to the Philippines." Excuse me. Does that not sound just a little fishy?
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
I've done Secret Shopper.
Mm-hmm.
When I was just fresh out of high school, or trying to make money over the summer. And in my experience, they sent me a gift certificate to go eat at a place in town of my choice. And there was a list of places you could use this gift certificate at, and they would honor it. And you were supposed to evaluate, the service and meal and everything.
Right.
Which, that worked out because nobody knows you're the secret shopper until you go to pay for your meal and and you hand them this voucher. But for this I've never seen anything like this. This is outrageous.
Yeah, I mean, the instructions say, take out your fee and then this extra $20 and go buy something. Well, what kind of evaluation did they want her to do? What kind of standards? I mean, the article doesn't say, but it doesn't sound like there was much in the way of standards.
Right. And usually Secret Shopper, they send you in to evaluate the service.
You fill out a survey or a card or something?
You go in and purchase something, and you evaluate how your interaction with the store, the store looked, the cleanliness, just different things that they evaluate the stores by and rate them.
Yeah, this doesn't suggest that there was anything very
Yeah, just go, take an extra 20 and go buy something at the local Walmart.
Yeah,
Really?
I mean, that's just kind of strange.
That's a little
But,
off.
Miss Polly looks at all this evidence and she concludes there's something fishy about it. So she does absolutely the right thing.
Okay.
She takes it to the post office and has the postmaster look at it. And what does he find? Well, the watermark is false, and there's a watermark missing that should have been on there. And so he's like, hey, this is definitely fake.
Mm-hmm.
Call the Attorney General's office, which she did, and they basically said, yeah, we know. Forget about it. And, pretty much blew her off. But she wasn't satisfied with that.
No, you don't do that.
Yeah, so she contacted the sheriff's department, and now we're reading about it in the newspaper, and I think that's so wonderful that, she's made that story public, and that the newspaper has reported on this, because there's so many people, especially elderly people, in northeast Mississippi who are falling for these different scams, particularly the Christian-themed scams, and that's terribly abusive, and yeah, we're very much against that.
There's been instances where, like, your Google or Gmail accounts being hacked and all your contacts being contacted with, hey, wife and I decided to go out of town or out of state, or we went to Paris for the weekend. We got our baggage got lost. We're stranded. Can you send us some money?
Yeah, and let me tell you, if you ever get an email saying that Twinkie D has gone to Paris for the weekend, you know something's wrong. Because I'm not even poor enough to swim across the sea, much less fly. I mean, I'm too poor. You know what I mean. I can't even get my sentence out.
I know. Someday.
But yeah, I mean, people, would actually believe some of these and try to, help their friends and send them financial help. And it was just a scam.
Well, one of the biggest ones was, I believe it was a church directory got hit for some of these scams.
Yeah.
Hey, we're in, I think it was in Ohio or Iowa, in the Midwest area. They basically said, hey, we're stuck in Topeka, Kansas, or something.
And of course, you're going to help your church family.
Oh yeah, and they got so much. They even had one of the guys was taking up money locally to have fuel to take the church van and drive down there to get them.
Wow.
Because the car had, transmission problems or something, and they were going to be stuck down there. We needed, thousands of dollars to fix this, and pay for hotel and whatnot.
Right.
And they were just going to go down there and get them.
Yeah, and that's funny to me because I don't know. I mean, if I'm sitting here and my transmission's busted, I'm not going to send you an email. I'm going to call you or call my insurance company, or I'm going to make contact directly. I'm not going to send you an email and say, oh, by the way, I'm down here in Mexico and, the car's on the fritz.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Miss Polly's advice here is if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. And, this is the core of skepticism. This is what we tell everybody about every subject. When you hear, that there's free energy, or you hear all these wonderful things about these vitamins and supplements, be careful.
Indeed.
Be very careful, because you can't ever tell without looking at it further whether you're being scammed or not.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the way the law is written, not every scam is illegal. There are a lot of scams that are being legitimately put on the shelves at places like Walmart and Walgreens just because the FDA doesn't do its job very well.
This is true.
So.
Something I want to note that was in this article, had she cashed that fake postal money order, okay, it would have bounced a few days later.
Right.
She would have gotten the money, collected her fee, and then turned around and sent the $700 and change to the next guy.
In the Philippines, yeah.
In the Philippines, okay. If she had gone through the steps, now she would be liable for, when that check bounced, she would then be liable for the full $975 plus any banking fees that were involved.
And they would be substantial, I feel sure.
I'm very sure.
And it wouldn't surprise me if this wouldn't be a way to get on some kind of list, too, because, the way the government monitors overseas transactions now.
Oh, exactly.
I mean, I know it's a small amount of money, but let's get
That's
real.
Just it. It's just under the radar. It's just under the radar.
Maybe.
Nobody's. Well, it's $700. As long as you don't send more than, I think it's $4,000 some dollars. Wire transfer, you don't have to sign anything.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to have any other paperwork attached to it. I think it's 4,000. 4,000 or 8,000.
I thought
there's
it was
a dollar amount.
Well, it used to be 10, I thought, but I don't know. Maybe some of you guys know. But just the ridiculousness of our quote security now, it makes me think it's getting to the point where any transactions are going to be logged pretty soon. So
If you're coming into the country or leaving the country and you have more excess of $10,000, you have to claim it.
Yeah.
Guy that was just sold his car, was on his way to the bank from one town to the next, and got pulled over. He had over $3,000, and the police claimed that it was possible drug money.
Yeah, because nobody goes around with $3,000, but
Well, of course not, but the man was paid cash for a car. Bill of sale was all he had. It was a handwritten bill of sale.
wow,
That's it.
it's crazy.
But he still got, his money was confiscated. He had to go to court and get it back.
Yeah. So, anytime you're playing around with substantial sums of money, and well, like I said, if you're like me, any amount substantial, but the more it is, the more you're going to be looked at for transferring that money. And really, I think what you're doing, not in this case, but in some cases, would be like money laundering for
Exactly.
with other scams.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Because basically, you're cashing a fake check, getting real money, and then sending that real money with a real money order to somewhere else,
Mm-hmm.
and that becomes real now. And then you have to turn around and pay for this fake one.
Yeah, and that's not none of that stuff any of us want to be involved in.
No, not at
So
all.
a little skepticism goes a long way, and Miss Polly Duncan of Ripley, she is today's citizen skeptic. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And until next time.
Well, I'm going to finish my dessert, and then I'm leaving the diner before I have to go back in the kitchen.
All right, then.
Hey, Twinkie, we're not making any money. You sitting around talking to all the customers.
All right, all right. Well, I guess that's all the time we have for this course today. But keep checking back in with us for our daily specials and appetizers and our main course soon to come.
Main course, what you think this is? 3-star restaurant?